brings us to our big story and the way that Portland runs the city. See, we use a style of government here that's been abandoned by every other major city in the country. And right now, there's a big push to change that. The Charter Commission, they meet every 10 years to discuss the city charter. They're meeting right now, and this is a big part of the conversation. But let's start from the top here, all right? Just to get everybody to square one. Now, everywhere I've ever lived, those cities were broken up into a bunch of different districts. And then the people who live in those districts, they vote for a council person to represent them on city council. But that's not how it works here. So let's take a quick crash course on Portland's commission style of government. Now, our commission is made up of the mayor and 4 commissioners. Now, the first big difference comes in how these people are elected. The whole city gets a vote on each of these 5 positions, not like the council style I was just describing. The second big difference is about how much power our commissioners have. In Portland, the mayor assigns each commissioner a few bureaus to lead. For instance, the mayor is also the police commissioner. Dan Ryan is also heading up the housing bureau. Mingus Mapps also is in charge of the water bureau. Now, in other major cities, those jobs are held by different people. Now, 100 years ago, in 1920, when Portland had like 250,000 people living here, this commission style was kind of a progressive idea. It was a way to give voters some real control over the bureaus that kept the city running. But in 2021, in a city of nearly 700,000 people, it almost seems silly to give one person so much work to do. I mean, think of it this way. Joanne Hardesty, the commissioner, she is an outspoken person who contributes to the conversation on every important policy decision in this city. But she's also in charge of the entire Bureau of Transportation and Fire and Rescue and the Office of Community and Civic Life. If I were pitching this style of government today and I told a person that one person would have all those jobs, you'd probably start laughing. But that's how we do it here. And the City Club of Portland is convinced that it's time for a change.
The overall perspective was that if we could switch our form of government, it would be more effective. It would lead to a more, in fact, cohesive city council working towards the benefit of the whole city. And it would better represent the interests of the whole city.
I talked to Mark Steffen. He's with the City Club. He's also a professor at Washington State in the School of Politics, Philosophy, and Public Affairs, and he's helping to present their opinion to the Charter Commission.
How difficult would it be in actuality to make a change like this?
Yeah, and that was partly what I was trying to get to, was that there's some education that needs to occur. This would take some money. There would be some adjustments. There would be a couple of years of having to learn this new system. But a lot of other governments have done this across the country. They have made these changes. They've made even arguably bigger changes to their form of government and have been able to do so in an effective amount of time. So it's not easy, but it's definitely doable. And I think in the city of Portland, it's very doable.
How critical is it, though? Because this discussion has come up before. Do you think we've reached a point where something has to be done?
Critical in the sense of government functioning at all? No. I mean, I don't think we have to do anything if we want government to function. But if we want to govern better, if we want better governance in the city of Portland, these changes are the ones that City Club really believes, and a lot of us really believe just really need to be made. And so we'll have more effective government over time, and we'll have better, more responsive government over time. And these are worth pushing for.
I know this isn't the most exciting stuff in the world. I know some of you are like halfway through that interview, kind of looking down and flipping through your Instagram, but look back up. Okay, I know this sounds like a whole bunch of political gobbledygook. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, why do I care about this story? I don't have a lot of control over what happens. This seems like it's up to the people in this Charter Review Commission, whoever they are, the professors at the City Club. But you're wrong. You're very, very, very wrong. In fact, you have a big amount of responsibility here because nothing can change without you. The only way to change our style of government is with a vote. And Portlanders have voted down changes 5 times since 1950. 1950, 58, 66, 2002, 2007. Voters said no. Why did they say no so many times? Well, I don't know. There are a lot of theories on that. Some people think that the voters just don't understand this stuff well enough, hence stories like this one. Others think that Portlanders are stubborn and they like being an outlier, even if it means operating with an antiquated form of government. And some say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And technically, as that person was just saying, that professor, our government isn't broke. After all, you can cook food on a campfire. Who needs an oven? But I asked Mark if he thinks this time around, will it be different? And he said yes.
I think reforms are on the horizon. I think there's a strong enough feeling. And one of the key things that we haven't talked about is that there's an attempt by the Charter Review Commission itself and also a lot of other civic groups to really increase citizen engagement on this topic at these earlier moments, not just waiting until there's a referendum later on. And there's a sense that we want to make some changes. It's going to make things better. And there's a commitment to that I think makes this moment much more likely to be a moment of change than we've seen before.
Or not. I mean, who knows, really? Predictions, right? We'll wait and see. In the meantime, I'm going to keep trying to convince you that this is a really important issue in your life. And hopefully, if it ever reaches your ballot, you'll agree.